So then he goes to the February 14th Oval Office meeting. This is, again, his written testimony. And this is where, and this is really key because this is really key because this is where the scene where he is in the Oval Office with the vice president, the deputy director of the CIA, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Secretary of Homeland Security, Attorney General, and Jared Kushner, who may be all of those positions at that point. I wasn't sure when he was appointed.
Right.
And, okay, the president signaled the end of the briefing by thanking the group and telling them all he wanted to speak to me alone. I stayed in my chair. As the participants started to leave the Oval Office, the Attorney General lingered by my chair, but the president thanked him and said he wanted to speak only with me. The last person to leave was Jared Kushner, who also stood by my chair and exchanged pleasantries with me. The president then excused him, saying he wanted to speak with me. When the door by the grandfather clock closed and we were alone, the president began by saying, I want to talk about Mike Flynn. Flynn had resigned the previous day. Here is his spoken testimony in regards to that very moment.
Let me move on. My time's running out. Again, it seems a bit strange. You were in a meeting, and your direct superior, the Attorney General, was in that meeting as well. Yet the president asked everyone to leave, including the Attorney General to leave, before he brought up the matter of General Flynn. What was your impression of that type of action? And have you ever seen anything like that before?
No. My impression was something big is about to happen. I need to remember every single word that is spoken. And again, I could be wrong. I'm 56 years old. I've been seen a few things. My sense was the Attorney General knew he shouldn't be leaving, which is why he was lingering. And I don't know Mr. Kushner well, but I think he picked up on the same thing. And so I knew something was about to happen that I needed to pay very close attention to.
So there it is. And that's when he went in to say, Flynn's a good guy. I hope you can let this go. He writes, I immediately prepared an unclassified memo of the conversation about Flynn and discussed the matter with FBI senior leadership. Now, he expanded upon this in his spoken testimony. He wrote an unclassified memo ostensibly because a classified memo would get hung up in a lot of different procedures and could not even be shared within the FBI. Now, there's some speculation, did he do this so that the memo could be made public ultimately? And he said it sounded more like he wanted this to be able to be passed around. So he's very specific about what he included in there to make sure that it was unclassified. I had understood the president to be requesting that we drop any investigation of Flynn in connection with false statements about his conversations with the Russian ambassador in December. Now, Lish, what's that guy's name? I'm not sure where he's from, but one of the senators, one of the Republicans, Risch, tried to make it sound like when Trump said, I hope you can let this go, and I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He's a good guy. That he was being more aspirational, not necessarily trying to, in any way, order or request. It was more just like, I hope.
Wouldn't it be great if we had world peace? And by the way, I hope that Mike Flynn can get off.
It would be such a hope of mine.
It would be such a hope of mine if my sons were intelligent.
So tonight I'm going to lie down and I'm just going to pray, and that's it. At that time, Comey decided it made little sense to report it to Attorney General Sessions. We expected he would likely recuse himself from involvement in Russia-related investigations. And here is why Comey expands on why coming out, having written an unclassified memo, having shared it with senior FBI leadership, why they did not inform Attorney General Sessions as to Trump's request about dropping the Flynn case. And this is really crucial because I think this revelation about Sessions and perhaps Kamala Harris's questioning, although seemingly going nowhere, may reveal something that this intelligence committee knows about Sessions.
Let me turn to the Attorney General. In your statement, you said that you and the FBI leadership team decided not to discuss the president's actions with Attorney General Sessions, even though he had not recused himself. What was it about the Attorney General's own interactions with the Russians or his behavior with regard to the investigation that would have led the entire leadership of the FBI to make this decision?
Our judgment, as I recall, was that he was very close to and inevitably going to recuse himself for a variety of reasons. We also were aware of facts that I can't discuss in an open setting that would make his continued engagement in a Russia-related investigation problematic. And so we were convinced, and in fact, I think we'd already heard that the career people were recommending that he recuse himself, that he was not going to be in contact with Russia-related matters much longer. And that turned out to be the case.
How would
Now, understand, by that time, or I should say at this time, right? I mean, it's conceivable at that time, it was not public knowledge that Sessions had met multiple times with Russian officials and had lied about it in his Senate testimony. But today, that information is public. We know he lied on his security clearance form. We know that he met with the Russians 3 times. That is not something that James Comey would need to go into private session to talk about. That is stuff he could say as reported in the media. We knew that stuff at that time. It's now been reported. There's obviously more to Jeff Sessions' relationship than we are aware of, that the public is aware of, with Russia. We don't know if it's financial. We don't know. But there seems to be something going on with Jeff Sessions. Here is Kamala Harris, and we have the whole thing, right? That's from yesterday. Okay, we don't have Kamala Harris's today. Well, nevertheless, Kamala Harris went on to ask Comey if he was aware of any destruction of evidence, and it was all centered around what Jeff Sessions knew and when and what documents he was receiving from the FBI. So prior to being recused, or perhaps after supposedly being recused. There's a lot more to be learned, I think, about Jeff Sessions. I mean, to the extent that you start to wonder, why do we hear this story about Jeff Sessions not being in Donald Trump's favor this week? Why did we hear the story of Jeff Sessions supposedly offering to resign casually? You know, leaks go a lot of different ways, folks, with this stuff. Leaks go a lot of different ways. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos